Hey guys, it's your girl Victoria back to you with another review of Love and Hip Hop Miami Season 4, Episode 10, called A Line in the Sand. This episode was a little bit emotional for me. I didn't cry. I didn't shed no tears, nothing. But I did get teary eyed in some moments. Okay? It was a little too much. But we're going to start off. Ace Hood, he's rehearsing for his showcase he got coming up. It sounds good thus far from what I've heard. Let me take this little piece down. Move on to Princess and Neri. They're hanging out. We see Princess pouring gulps and jugs of alcohol in this big case, container, whatever. She probably gonna make her own little drink. Her son just sitting there on the chair watching, like, can I have some? Like, he probably won't know what it is, but he just like, that looks refreshing. But Neri comes over. Sheila comes over. I still get the Sheila. You know what I'm saying. Ace's wife comes over. And, she invites the girls to come hang out. And Shayla's talking with them. They all commingling amongst themselves. And Shayla invites them to Ace's showcase. That's all good and whatnot. So then I think, who was it? Princess? Or Neri. No, I think Neri was asking Sheila what she got coming up and going on. And Sheila's just like, oh, she has the retreat for the, what's she called the thing again? The CCC. Okay, the CCC. And so she's just, prepping everything up for the retreat. I don't know how it gets into the invitation for that, but I think Neri did say, so I guess I'm not invited to that. And Sheila, she goes into an explanation. I didn't put it down word for word for what Sheila said of why Neri can't come. But for the most part, for the long story short, is she wants a safe space for Black women. She did mention that in the past, she did bring non-Black women to the retreat. And for the people that was a part of the retreat, that the retreat was for, they felt kind of uncomfortable with the non-Black woman at the retreat. And pretty much in Sheila's description, if you don't identify as Black, you can't come. Now, I did say in the last episode that the end of the last episode, from what the previews showed, it just seemed like Sheila was just like, yeah, you ain't Black, so you can't come. So that's why I was a little offended for Neri that she wasn't invited. However, I did also say, so before people think I'm backtracking, okay, I said I have to see the episode so I can see more of the context of why Neri was not invited. And in this case, I felt like Sheila did make a good point. And I did like the fact that Sheila did say she did at a time invite non-Black women. So now she knows from her audience, obviously the people who are part of it, that they felt uncomfortable with the non-Black woman being a part of the whole thing. So now she just doesn't want no people that don't identify with non-Black. Yes, I did also say she mixed. Yes, I did also say Princess mixed. But at the same time, they identify as Black women because they're 50, 25, or whatever percentage Black. And I also did say I know people are like 1% Black and whatnot, but do you identify yourself as Black? And so, listen, I like Sheila, so it's going to be real hard for me to not like her. And in this case, I understood what she was saying. I understood the assignment. Not really, but you know what I'm trying to say. And also, I did appreciate the fact that Sheila, she just seemed very sincere with her explanation. And she seemed very sincere of feeling bad that Neri couldn't come. She's just like, oh, I feel so bad. And it's like, girl, from you explaining everything and the way you, it's not what you say, it's how you say it. And from what she was saying and how she said it, I saw it. I was like, okay, I understand. So if I was a non-Black woman and being explained this, I would be like, you know what? I would love to come and, educate myself, as Neri said later on in the episode. But the way you explained it, I completely understand. I would love to be there, but, I understand. And she invited her to the Aces showcase. So it's not like She don't like the girl and that she's racist or anything. But for this moment, for this retreat, sorry, it's for black women. So I mean, Neri still feel offended, but we're gonna get to into that later. I don't know, whatever. We get to Amara, her telenovela ass. She coming back from her doctor's appointment, I guess, and her mom and dad is sitting on the couch, just waiting for her. She comes in all, gloomy faced and all that stuff, and tells her parents pretty much she had a miscarriage. I guess she was bleeding and stuff. She went to go to the doctor to check it out, and unfortunately, she had a miscarriage. And her parents didn't really react. The Mama Anna, was kind of just like, what's going on? Like asking all these questions, like, how did you not know? You didn't feel nothing? Da 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 da. And Amara was like, why do you care? It's not like you care. And then Mama Anna was just like, I never said I didn't care. You kind of did, the last episode you kind of did. You did say like, okay, do whatever you want to do. I don't care. So you lying. You lying. You did say that. But in this moment, she's saying, it's not that I wanted you to lose the baby. It's not that I wish that upon you, but things do happen for a reason. This is when Amara's just getting annoyed. She's like, Mama, shut up. Shut the fuck up. It's like, I want you to be my mom. I want you to support me. It's not about you. Okay, I just lost a baby. So she gets off on a little tangent, and of course, that's when the dad gets up to hug her. I think Mama Anna said something else. I wrote everything kind of down word for word, but I'm not gonna go into the metrics of it all. Uh, I don't do all that. But like I said, the dad comes to hug her. I think Mama Anna said something else, and like, I've always supported you. I'm always here for you. Da 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 da. And pretty much, Amara just had to tell her, Mom, I just need a hug from you. You're not even hugging me right now. So that's when Mama Anna gets up and goes to hug her. And it made me feel like this is one of the moments I got teary-eyed, because at this point, Amara's boohoo crying. And it just warmed my heart so much, because even the dog, y'all, went over to Amara to try to hug her. I don't know why the daddy was trying to push her away. Like, the dog was trying to show some love too. He see Amara going through it. So in this instance, I'm just like, at this point, I don't even know why Amara's talking to anyone at this at this moment, because it's something like this. I apologize to Amara, for this unfortunate happenings. Miscarriage, that is a very touchy subject, so I am sorry to Amara for that. And I don't know why she felt like she needed to post it on social media, because like I said, I don't be checking for celebrities, but I do go on the shade room here and there. So I did see that she posted the picture of her baby. I don't know if people were saying like, oh, her pregnancy was fake or whatnot, but she showed it like, oh, look, with her little long ass fingernail showing like the little blip of her baby. Like, girl, you don't have to. You don't got to prove nothing to nobody. Okay, you know your truth. That's all that matters. So, like I said, so sorry to Amara for that unfortunate happening, and I wonder if she ever told Alan. But that's neither here nor there. She's boohoo crying, and she's just like, it's over for me. I don't have no chance. And then I love the fact that her parents were like, what, you're still young. You can have another kid. Like, you can get pregnant again. Doesn't mean it's over for you. Mara gets up. She's like, I'm just done. Takes off her mic, just throws it on the couch, starts walking away. But then starts doing a little trot jog out the door. And I'm just like, I get it, Amara, that you're in right now, in distress. But at the same time, that little run, that, jog that she did outside the door, I'm just like, you're doing a little too much at this point. Nah, you're doing a little too much. But she goes outside to cry even more. I would have went to my room at this point. But she went outside in the public. The parents go after her to talk, and pretty much, I don't know if she says to her mom she doesn't understand what she's going through, but then that's when the mom makes it known to us and lets Amara know, like, she had miscarriages before too. She went through, I think she said 6 or 7 unsuccessful cesareans before she had success with Amara. And she did say that Amara's her biggest blessing, and then her and Amara hug at the end of that scene. But I'm just like, say what? You had what, 6 or 7 cesareans? So like, was it like stillbirth or something? Like, obviously they didn't make it, but 6 or 7. So I guess that's when I got Amara crying even more. And I'm just like, no, that's when Anna started just like boo-hoo crying. And so they hugged each other. But I'm just like, girl, what? Kudos to you for not giving a 6 or 7. That is dedication. So yes, when she said Amara's her biggest blessing, yeah, I can imagine after having 6 or 7 missed or failed pregnancies. I can only imagine. That's why I'm like, this is one of those scenes that's just like, I can't even say really nothing too much about this. I feel for Amara. I feel for Anna, and I'm just glad that Dad was there to kind of give his support. And I'm glad he didn't really say nothing because there's nothing he could really say. But yeah, that just sucks. So we gonna move on. Neri and Nori, they had a Smoke Champs sponsored basketball event. One of their sons is playing in the at the event. So of course Nori's being the dad that he says he is at these events where he just being a little too loud. He drinking again, of course. I just want to know the span of how long he was sober for. How many days was he sober for? But at least he went longer than his friends thought he could do. So I don't think it was a whole 30 days like he said he could have. But I guess this is a one step forward for him in proving, showing that he's involved and initiative in his kids' lives to prove that, he could be there for him and Neri when they have another kid. I still don't know about that, Nori. Why don't you just stick with the kid you got now? But, all right, we gonna see what happens. I don't know. Maybe she could be pregnant right now for all we know. But, no. No. Neri, please no. Ooh, excuse me. Focus on the juice bar. Focus on the juice bar, Neri. And Nori, please just stay in your kid's life. Stay. Like, my question is, so because you want another kid, this is what it takes for you to be in your kid's life. You just don't want to be in your kid's life. You just don't want to take that initiative as a father to your kids. Like, I still don't understand. So, like, if you have another baby, so when they get to the age where, like, they don't need diapers and stuff, and they don't need you to hold their hand to walk and stuff, like, you're just gonna be done with them too? Like, I'm not understanding. Like, what are you getting out of this? Like, what exactly is happening here? What exactly do you expect to happen here? Like, what do you expect to happen after the baby phase of having a kid? That's the irking part for me, is just the fact that you're trying to prove to Neri that, you could be a good father, but why couldn't you have done this without having to prove to Neri? Like, why do you have to do this as a way to prove something? Why can't you do this just because you want to do this as a father of your kids? Anywho, Nori asks Neri how did it go with her hanging out with Princess and Sheila. And she explains everything went good, but Sheila did bring up the retreat that she has and how Neri's not invited because she's not black. Then Nori was just like, well, you're married to a black man, you have black kids, you're Cuban. And I'm just like, what does her being Cuban have to do with the fact that she's black? But I guess because she's colored and she's part of the minority, as Neri explains later on in the episode. Nori then goes on a confessional explaining, he always had this issue because, he's half Puerto Rican, half black. He was never black enough. He was never Puerto Rican enough. And I'm just like, okay. However, like I said, I know I was feeling a little type of way last week. But hearing Shayla's explanation, I'm just like, no. If you do not identify as black, you're not invited. Neri is Cuban. Does she identify as black? No, she probably identified as Hispanic. Nori, you said it yourself. You're half black. So, therefore, you are black. In Spanish, but black. Okay? If I seen Nori on the street, if I didn't know who Noriega was, and I seen him on the street, I'll be like, you're black. So, um, yeah, Nori, you explained the Puerto Rican and the black that still doesn't really, you know, you would be invited if it was something for a man. You would be invited because you're black. Whereas Neri can't be invited because she's Cuban. She identifies as Hispanic, where you technically you could identify as either or, to be honest with you. But like I said, this is a little sensitive subject. You know, I don't want to get too much into it, even though I kind of got into it already. But listen, Nori, I get what you're trying to say, Neri. I can understand why you would be offended, but at the same time, the way that Sheila explained it to to us in America, I understand now, and I can respect that. Um, but Nori just like, listen, she gonna do what she gonna do, and that it is what it is. And Neri says, yeah, she agrees, but at the same time, we're gonna see she still feels some type of way. We move on. We get to the showcase, Ace's showcase, and everyone's there. Princess and Sheila talk, and then Sheila goes to find Blondie. They talk. It looks like they hashed it out. They're moving forward. I'm like, okay, good. I don't want no more drama with y'all two for the rest of the season. I mean, it's already 10 episodes, so I think it's almost the season finale in a few couple more episodes. So I don't want to see nothing else between y'all like that. Let it just be that. And you hash it out. That's it. It looks like she was laughing at the end. Okay, cool, good, good. Hopefully I don't call Ace's mama a bitch for the rest of the season or any more at this point. So Ace performs. The performance goes well. Looks nice and good and whatnot. You see Ace's mama going like, yes, thank you, Lord, thank you, Jesus. And that's where that scene is. We get to Trina, her family, her little crew, her Joy, Bobby, Snoop, and Raymond. I think that was it. There might have been more people, it doesn't matter. So they're hanging out in celebration of her versus battle with EVE. And Snoop mentions that they need to have a little break. And Trina gets in a confessional saying she's tired of people telling her that she needs to break and that she needs to slow down. And in fact, what they need to do, they need to catch up. And I'm just like, catch up to what though? To catch up to racing with you to get to a grave because you're working yourself to death, Trina? No, I thank you. I don't need to catch up. I don't need to catch up, Trina. You listen. I ain't saying you ain't doing your thing, but I'm saying you working yourself to a grave the way you just be going hard without no breaks in between. And maybe that's just the lifestyle of entertainers and whatnot. But at the same time, I'm pretty sure entertainers. You know what? It's not even the fact. To be honest, it's not even the fact that she's working herself so hard. It's just the fact that she got so much mentally going on that I feel like she doesn't want to deal with it to the point that she's making herself work harder than she needs to. And I don't know if that came out right. I don't know if I'm explaining that right, but just what she's going through mentally is causing, not the fact that it's causing her to not perform well, but her mind's moving a mile a second. She's working so hard, so you don't have no peace, no rest in between, I feel like, other than when you go to sleep. And that's not really rest, if you get what I'm trying to say. So at this point, Trina, you already done fainted in the damn elevator. Is that a normal occurrence for you, Trina? No, I don't think no. Then, girl, you gotta listen. The idea of them having a trip, I thought was a good idea. Now we gonna see later on it doesn't pan out the way Trina thought because she already felt like something going on. Y'all doing something. And it just didn't pan out well. So yes, Trina, you do need a break. Not saying you need to go on a hiatus or whatever. But in between stuff, yes, I do think you need to do some rest and relaxation. And I get that they think her rest and relaxing may be too much for her mind because, when the mind just has time to think, she's going to be too much into thinking about her brother and her mother. And I get that. I understand that. But at the same time, Trina, well, dang, girl, you going to work yourself into a grave? I don't think none of us would want that. I don't want that. Like, I can't stand the fact that Trina just be talking a mile a minute sometimes and be cussing everybody out for every little thing. But at the same time, Trina, I mean, even though some of them are valid, but other times I'm just like, you just doing too much, Trina. But I forgot where I was going. At the end of the day, I don't listen. Trina is too much for me personally. But kudos to her family for, getting her to go on a trip. She needs one. She needs a month vacation outside the US at this point. And Joy said her and Bobby got a trip planned for her, a little whiles away. It was Key West. It was Key West. But a little whiles away. And like I said, Trina's skeptical, but she agrees to go on the trip. Good girl, because you need it, but it looks like from the way things go, you wish you didn't have it. We get to Amara, and she invites Princess and Neri over to her house. She says she needs friends again, and she's tired of hanging out with her parents. And I'm just like, yeah, I would be tired of hanging out with my parents too. Like, girl, that's all you do, stay in the house? I mean, I know she do her little gigs or whatever, but like, that's all you hang out with is your mama and your daddy? Like, girl. But she invites them over. They talk about Neri's juice bar and gets to the topic of things in their mouth. Princess lets us know that Ray doesn't want things in Princess's mouth because she's a mother now. Me and Mara was looking at her like, what does that even, like, what? Bitch, what does that even mean? And Princess was like, exactly. And she's like, whatever, that's less work for her to do. And I'm just like, is it because since now your mother, Ray J, sees you as like, up here now, you can't be doing no nasty, freaky shit as the mom and the mother of his kid? Like, what is that supposed to? No, no. I would be like, no. Like I said, Princess and Ray J's relationship is so weird. Like at this point, why are we still talking about them? So that don't make no lick of sense. But okay, whatever. Ray J feels like Princess is too good to swallow or take cum in the mouth. I gotta be blunt, I gotta let her know what it is for those that might be confused. But Neri lets us know she didn't go to the showcase because I guess she and Nori have things to do, but also because the real reason, because she makes a little BS reason, but the real reason is because, she's still feeling some type of way that she was not invited to the retreat of the CCC for the black women. Okay. And Amara was like, oh, she was invited, but she felt kind of weird that she was invited because comes to find out, years ago when the Love and Hip Hop Miami first came out and, the whole Amara situation, because I guess maybe this was the first time people really seen an Afro Latina, and I'm just like, I mean, not a lot of people are from Florida, or they never been to Florida, but at the same time, Florida is not the only place that has Afro Latina. But I guess come to find out, Sheila was one of the people who had something to say about Amara on the show, and I guess saying that Amara's a fake representation of black women or a fake representation of Afro Latina, and because she had contacts on and a wig, and I'm just like, I would want to wish that Amara would have had a conversation with Sheila, like, what do you feel about me is fake? Why? Because she has the Afro wig on when females be having straight wigs on, or when, like, I don't understand. Other people, black women wear contacts too. Like, people feel like her skin is airbrushed. Oh, and Shayla said that too, that she has airbrushed skin. No, Amara just got beautiful skin. Like I said, Amara be annoying me sometimes, but I could keep it real at the same time. Amara got beautiful skin. Beautiful, just like baby's bottom smooth skin. And that's her color. Yes, I get it, to someone who's not used to seeing an Afro Latina. They might be like, okay, this does look a little blackface, but that's just how beautiful her skin is. Um, so I mean, I don't know. Shayla did invite her. Sheila did invite Amara to the CCC retreat. So I guess she sees things a different way. But I wish Amara would have brought up, like, obviously not at the showcase, but have that conversation. Well, actually, since the retreat's coming up, she could have that conversation with Shayla at the CCC retreat. Probably, one on one, of course, but Amara, you should go to the CCC retreat because I want to see, what goes on. So she explains all that, and Amara thinks it's fucked up that Neri wasn't invited. Princess also thinks, it's kind of weird that Neri wasn't invited, and says like this should be a place for women that are like non-black women to be educated. And Neri agrees. She's like, that's why I wanted to go, to see what the black woman goes through. And I'm just like, Neri, especially living in Florida, South Florida at that, you don't see what black women go through. Like, I know you may not have a lot of black women friends, but at the same time, do you not have access to social media and see what's be going on in these world, in these streets? Neri? I mean, I guess it'll be different from like in live and in person dealing, at the retreat. But at the same time, I'm just like, Neri, you don't have to go to the retreat to see what be going on with black women. I'm just saying. So, the girls think that if Princess told Neri that, like, listen, if it bothers you like that, then yes, obviously you need to have that conversation with Sheila. So Amara then puts her two cents in and says, listen, if Sheila doesn't accept her, then then she could go to hell. And I'm just like, well, yeah, if someone don't accept you, then you fuck them. But I don't think that's the case with Sheila, because she invited her to the showcase. So it's not like it's like, fuck you. It's just like, sorry, you just can't come here to the CCC retreat. Whatever, we'll get to them later on. Trina and the fam, they go to the Keys for the trip and whatever. They're eating dinner. Bobby's going on some type of rant, how Trina's this, she's that. And Trina's like, what the hell's going on here? Then they're like, we're giving you your flowers and stuff. And, Trina at this point, she's very suspicious because she knows something's up. And Joy goes into a rant next saying, this trip is supposed to be healing and very therapeutic. And I got Trina like, wait, hold up now. Hold up. Therapeutic for how, bitch? Like, what did you talk about? Joy says she got a surprise. So they go to the beach. Sit down on the beach. Joy says she's going to go get someone real quick. They just want to go to commercial for dramatic effect. Comes back from commercial for dramatic effect. Joy comes back with Pastor Bentley. Pastor, as soon as the pastor sits down, immediately goes into like, oh yeah, the prophet came to her and told her like 8 months ago that she will be sitting down with a female celebrity and that she's there to bring peace, and that the female has been going through lots of pain in the past 3 years, especially the past 3 months. And like I said, she's here to bring peace, etc., etc. Now, meanwhile, while she's saying this, Raymond, sitting in between Trina and Pastor Bentley, sitting there stroking a stuffed animal or a furry coat, just stroking it like this. And I'm just like, Raymond, what are we doing here? What is this? What is this? Don't be a Karen like Love and Hip Hop Atlanta, okay? We don't need another one of those, please. But and Scrappy with the dog. Okay, pretty much Trina's just like, all right, I don't believe none of you saying. All that is fake news. I don't believe none of you saying. You gonna tell me there's no more pain that's gonna come in my life? That's false, because I live with pain every day ever since my mother done. Like, she goes into a rant. First she starts off with like a stern voice, but then she goes into, how Trina do. She go into her hysterics and talking all loud, yelling, cussing up store. My mama off limits. Joy, you know not to bring this girl over to, like, she goes off. Joy looking hurt. Bobby looking scared and his eyes really looking like he about to cry. Snoop looking like, Trina, calm down. Like, ain't no need for all this. We didn't really see what Raymond was. Raymond was just, being Raymond. And not Bobby, but Snoop was kind of just like, listen, like, trying to talk to her. But she, like I said, she gets on the rant and cusses everybody out, especially Joy ass, because everybody out gets up and walks away. And I'm just like in this moment, listen, Trina, she did have a good point. You're not gonna understand until you lose your own mama. For those who are close to their mothers, but I may not. What's the word? I don't want to use the wrong words, but I can understand. I can only imagine. There we go. I can only imagine what Trina's going through. And I'm not going to sit here and say I understand because I haven't been through it. I haven't lost a brother. All my brothers are still alive, thank the Lord. My parents are still alive, thank the Lord. So I have not been through that, but I can only imagine how it is to go through that. But at the same time, I'm not a person that's going to cuss everybody out just because I'm upset and I'm in pain. That's the issue. It's not the fact that Trina's in pain. It's not the fact that she's going through a lot of shit. It's not the fact, of any of that. My thing with Trina is the fact that just because you're going through pain doesn't mean you have to be an asshole to everybody else because of the pain that you're going through. All Joy was trying to do was help. Granted, Joy, you should know your cousin by now. You should know that not to do shit like that. God forbid if I were to ever bring a freaking pastor. She said, "Pastor, you like a medium. You trying to be a medium, bitch." Sorry, Pastor Bentley for calling you a bitch. But that's like me trying to bring a medium to talk to my dad about the passing of his older brother. My dad don't believe in none of that crap. He would have cussed me out, but he gonna like Satan, why you bringing this evil stuff to me? So, Joy, you should know your cousin well enough to know this probably was not the right route in order to get someone to talk to Trina. But also, Trina, you are a grown ass woman. How old is Trina? I keep forgetting. 40 something? Early 40s? I think she like 40, 41. Girl, come on, we adults here. What we not finna do, we can't keep doing these theatrics. Like I said, she said her mom was off limits. Technically, from what the screen showed, Pastor Billy did not mention the mom. But I think last episode, when they were showing the previews for this episode, I think she did mention the mom. So I don't know, because obviously I know there was more that was said that we're not seeing. But at the same time, Trina, listen, we're not finna do none of that. Like, you are a grown-ass woman, middle-aged. We can't be doing these theatrics. I can understand. I can understand, but I can imagine what you're going through. But at the same time, that does not give you an excuse to be the way you be acting when you be wilding out on people like this. This is unacceptable. Unacceptable whatsoever. That's all I'm going to say on that. I'm not going to keep talking about that same thing because we all know Trina, she just be doing the most with any type of deep feeling that she's feeling. So listen, she needs a lot of healing. And, I pray and wish the best for Trina. Hopefully she doesn't have any more deep pains like this anymore. And I just wish the best for the girl. But at the same time, Trina, like, get it together, girl. Get it together. Your vulnerability is showing at this point. We move on to Princess and Neri at the juice bar. Sheila comes by too, and obviously Princess is talking about she's on Neri's side about, trying to see what's going on with why she's not invited to the CCC retreat, even though Sheila already explained why Neri's not invited to the CCC retreat. And I guess from what Neri's saying, the way Sheila said it, it kind of rubbed her the wrong way. But I'm just like, from what we saw on TV, from what I've seen, I didn't take it as a wrong way because Sheila explained herself. She articulated it well. What is there to be rubbed off and offended by? So I don't know. So here we go again. Sheila has to explain. Sheila appreciated that Neri just came to her, woman to woman without, doing all this rah-rah stuff that we usually see on Love and Hip Hop. So she appreciated that Neri, came to her as a woman to express that, she was a little upset and offended and hurt by not being invited. And, Neri said she's not that type of female. She's going to be a woman about it and whatnot. But Sheila explained again, listen, she's just trying to protect her, what'd she say? um, protect her brand and explaining she wants that protective space for Black women. So, like I said, I understood it already from when she explained it before, but I guess she had to explain herself again. And I guess Neri was starting to understand, but then here we go with Princess saying that she feels like women who are also raising Black children should be given a space of education and healing too. Now, I understand that too, but we may need to create another space, another protective space for that as well. Um, I don't know, or maybe here's an idea. Hey, listen, Sheila, if you want to pre-record, well, then again, no, you don't want to have all these females. Well, listen, here's an idea. Here's an idea. Maybe have their faces blurred out, so we protect their space, but let these someone. Listen, I don't even know what I'm saying right now. To the point of having these stories broadcasted is what I'm pretty much trying to say. I don't know how we're gonna go about that with showing females' faces or whatnot. If they're comfortable enough to show their face on camera, have them explain their story, their testimony, and whatnot, and then have that showcase in another type of space for women who are raising Black children. That's an idea. It may not be a good one. You might be watching this and be like, Victoria, no, you tried, but it didn't hit what it was supposed to hit. That was just an idea. But as Princess is saying this, going back to the show, Princess starts crying. And I'm not saying first she started doing a little teary eyed, but then she starts like crying, crying. When it kept panning over to Sheila was looking at her like, what's going on here? Neri was looking at her like, first Neri was like, oh, he gonna make me cry too. But then she was looking at her like, oh, you good, girl? That's where the episode ends. I'm just like, oh, we just this is just where we're gonna end it at. Princess crying her eyes out again. Is there any reality show that she's on, whether it's Love and Hip Hop Hollywood, Love and Hip Hop, Miami, Couples Retreat? Is there any reality show she's on where she doesn't cry? No. Okay, that's where our episode ends. Next week, Suki gonna finally have a grand opening. Bill gonna crash that shit. Amara gonna break flower vases because her daddy done left her again without even saying goodbye. And what else gonna happen? Flo, yeah, her and the mistress, Debbie, I think her name was Deborah, something with a D. Yeah, they're gonna jump Marta. That's gonna be interesting to see. That's where it ends. Thank you so much for watching. 38 minutes. If you still watching, you a real one. You really are a real one. I'm not gonna cry because I don't cry on camera, but thank you guys for watching. I'll see what to see episode 11. I'll see you guys for episode 11 of next week. Thanks again. Bye bye.